Hey, welcome back to my return to dance journey. I'm so happy you're here, like legit, so grateful. As I mentioned last time, this is about community. It's about just building a support system here. And thank you. Please subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell so you are the first to know when a video drops. And let's just get right to it. We last left off at my time at Millennium OC in Orange County. That might be redundant. As opposed to moving the story forward today, taking that narrative to the next place, I first wanted to revisit a sort of full circle moment of my time at Millennium OC because it actually, I think, does in some ways further the story along. So I'm excited for you to see this episode, my experience with one particular teacher. I think the ending is, well, you will see. In this contemporary class I took for the first time last week, and I sucked. I quit in the class, basically, which I haven't done yet. I was surprised at myself and disappointed in myself for it. The beginning of the choreography, I caught it pretty quickly, and then, I don't know, this weird thing happens with me in choreography. It's like my brain kind of shuts down almost, where it's almost like I don't try. I stop trying. Anyway, because of which, the second half of the routine, I just didn't know. I just didn't know it. And I wasn't gonna get out there on the floor and just start dancing it, even though a lot of people in class didn't know what they were doing, and they jumped in there, and she even thanked people in class for participating in their positivity and, you know, just getting up there despite how they felt they were doing or they were doing and whatever. And I was like, is she talking about me? Because I stood to the side of the class the entire time and was like against the wall, like, no, not doing this. And I felt really bad about it, and she kind of kept looking at me. I don't know, that was not really a good moment for me. So I'm not gonna do that tonight. No matter what, I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna learn really hard to retain the choreography, and I'm gonna just like commit and dance no matter what. You know, let ego just go away. Go away. I just didn't want to like get out on the floor and not know half the choreography and just like futz around and shit, you know? I don't know what I did, to tell you the truth. Like, I felt okay, I just didn't feel great. But at least I kept going, kind of had to. It was just 3 of us in the class. I had some good moments. Last week there had to have been, I don't know, 10 students. This week there were 3. So it's very, very different, which is good because you're experiencing a different atmosphere. The teacher is going to cater it to the class. She said last week the class, she taught it a little more advanced than usual and was also very, very fast in teaching and in the choreography. So I was like, oh, okay, so maybe that makes a little more sense. I feel like when I'm watching dancers do contemporary, it kind of feels like less dancing, even though it's obviously a kind of dance, and more just a lot of broken down movements, almost robotic but fluid. I don't know how to really explain it, so I need to learn it. I know it's in my body, I'm just not there yet. So I just took this contemporary class I mentioned before, and I walked out. I don't know what it is about contemporary or this teacher, or it's me. I'm watching it, and within the first couple of counts of dancing and the choreography, my brain just shuts off. I'm thinking, Miller, focus, you can do this, just remember it, or just try. And I don't know what it is. I can't explain what happens. I don't know what happens. I need to really self-reflect or self-analyze here. But I do the choreography, and within seconds, I just shut down and I stop trying, and I just kind of watch and I pretend to follow along, but I'm setting nothing to memory, and I'm watching everybody else, and they're all just catching it. And the teacher even began the class saying that this choreography today was particularly hard. It was going to be hard today, and I'm like, great, because other times I've taken her class, I just for some reason couldn't get through it. And then so she said that, and that put a bad, I guess, example in my head, or just kind of, I felt like set me up for failure before I even tried. And she's a really nice teacher, though, don't get me wrong, and I'm doing it, and I just walked out of class with maybe 20 minutes to go, so paid for that, wasted money. drove all the way down here for nothing, but maybe not. It's good for me to understand what it is that's happening to me that makes me just want to give up. All right, I'm taking hip-hop class next, and I'm just feeling very down. I'm feeling very low, very dispirited. Then I go to the contemporary class with the choreographer, who scares me a bit, whose class I've walked out of a couple times, who I just for some reason didn't think liked me, and it's probably all in my head, I guess. So I go into her class, we do the warm-up, and then we do across the floor. And she's like, I have a short routine today. We'll spend a little bit of time kind of improvising across the floor. My least favorite thing to do. My least favorite thing to do. Everybody seems to know exactly how they're going to go across the floor, and they're so good and everything. And I just kind of like made it my own. And she was like, if you want to tap dance, tap. Want to do jazz? I was like, oh, you know, I always thought it had to be just like super like contemporary, like weird shit. So I kind of did some of that, but then I threw in like a chaîné into an axle jump, and I fell to my knees, and everybody screamed. I was like, oh. And I kind of played around with it. And after the first time across the floor, she stopped the music, and she goes, you guys are great. She goes, you though, you. And she pointed at me. She's like, you. That was so good. You have improved so much. It's so great watching, and everybody applauded. And she's like, it's so great watching somebody who is working and taking class, and I don't know what you're doing, you know, like between classes, but it's really great to see the improvement. And I thought, I looked at her like she was like, you talking to me? Like I was like, what? And then I thought, I don't know that she can accurately say I've improved, because my across the floor today was something that I always could do, the chaîné into an axle or whatever. I did that in dance class 2 months ago across the floor, and I was like, oh my God, I still have this. But I just made the improv thing a little bit different for me. It wasn't like I was better, I just tried something that I knew I could do, as opposed to this really, I feel like most dancers, they go across the floor and they do things that make them shine. When they improv, I go across the floor like just trying to feel the music and allowing myself to be really bad and like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing here kind of thing. But this time I really thought, all right, I'll throw in a couple fancy things. And then I guess I stood out. My point is, with all of that, I don't know that it's true that I've really improved, but hey, if she thinks I improved and I got a compliment from her, that's a very big deal from this choreographer who honestly I thought just did not like me for some reason. And then we went across the floor again, and I'm like, okay, I threw in a cartwheel, back handspring step out, and everybody applauded again and freaked out. And I was like, oh, I guess this is how you stand out. These are things I used to do when I was a teenager to kind of like stand out for an audition or something. And what's crazy is that at 44 years old, I could still do that. And then we did the routine, and I was really proud of myself because I was getting the routine like with the first half pretty good. Now her choreography for me is really hard because she just does a lot of upper body and things, and my brain, I zone out. That's why I'm wearing this that my friend gave me, so that I keep snapping my wrist like that. I'm like torturing myself in class so I don't forget. I'm like, don't zone out, because once I see it becomes kind of difficult, I just check out. I don't know where I go, but I check out. I kept doing that. If somebody watched me in class, they probably think I was like OCD and like a sadomasochist or something, like torture. I think I'm slowly getting better. I also really have become to like her a lot. I think in the beginning I found her class so difficult that I don't know if it was me putting out energy that was not good, or if her energy has changed, or it's a combination of the two. Whatever it is, like I really like her, and I'm doing better in there. She called 3 people out to come out and do it, and then she called another 3 people to come out and do it, and I was in that second group of 3 people, and I was like, because I know so far for me, when the pressure is on, sort of, I can get in my head and I'm a little bit ahead of the beat or behind or I'm messing up or something. And I would say I wasn't my best. I was like 80% there, 80% as good as I had been before that. I think she's noticing me more. The choreography was a lot of upper body stuff that I tend to have a hard time with, but I'm getting better. That's the most important thing, is I am getting better. And I asked questions, and I was okay. Like, I still watch some of the other students, and I'm like, how are they getting this so beautifully, so fast? She splits us up into groups, and then toward the end of class, and I'm still not quite getting it. Like, I'm okay. I have some moments where I'm like, I think really good, and other moments I can't catch it. But it wasn't, like, I can feel myself getting better at it. So now she says you can take out your cameras if you want to record for educational purposes. And I like that she said that, because she basically is saying it's good to watch yourself to improve and to see what you got to do better. Anyway, so group 1 goes and she dances with group 1, and then group 2, I'm in group 2, which is great because normally I've been in all these group 1s lately, which is interesting, I guess. So then I go and I dance in group 2, but she doesn't dance with us, and I don't feel confident enough in the choreography to not have her leading the way. And then, so I'm recording, and as soon as it begins, I'm like, and then I just walked off, and you will see me walk off. You will see me walk off. And then we finished, and then she looked, and she saw that I did that. And then I went to go pick up my phone, and it was clear, like, oh, this guy just picked up his phone. He was recording, but he wasn't dancing. And then she's like, can I just have the guys dance? And it's just me and one other dude. There's one other guy who's there all the time. I made a face like, oh, I was like, and she's like, come on, just have a good time. And everyone in the class said, come on, do it. So I did. And I wish I got that on film, because she danced with us and I had moments where I was good, like moments. But then there's the intricate stuff in between the stuff that I just wasn't, for whatever reason, doing as great as I would have liked. But I was okay. And I did that and people screamed, but I think they just screamed to support you. I love when I take a class a second time and they redo the choreography, especially if it's choreography that I was like not quite getting, but almost there. And I really felt I got it this time. Like I felt strong. Anyway, long story short, like she had 2 of us go up at the end of class and do it for everybody. And she had this girl and then me, and she was giving the girl like some direction, you know, just work on this, do that, but you are doing this great, whatever. And she looked at me and she's like, and you're just killing it. And I was like, oh my God, I got that from this Azuki person who I have like, you know, I have felt, you've heard my stories with her. I mean, back in the day, a few months ago, I used to walk out of her class because it was like, it was too much for my brain. I guess I'm really improving people. It helped, of course, that I did the choreography 2 days ago, but still, like, and then I got very nervous. And then, I got nervous because they were gonna film it. So they were filming it, and I was like, and I even was like, oh, I hope I don't go blank. I hope I don't go blank. And then it was cool because she kind of stood to the side and danced like to the side down in front of us. The footage was filmed from the other side of the room, so obviously you can't really appreciate the nuances in my dancing. It's grainy, all of that, but the point is, you get the gist. Like, it felt good. What I loved the most was at the end when she was running back, you know, to the music maybe to shut it off, and it got that moment on camera. It captured her seriously just happy, and her smile. I saw that and it just really touched me and made me super happy. Let me know you got to the end of the video here. Leave a comment down below and just say, let's dance, or follow your dream, or do that thing you always wanted to do and were afraid to do, but you're doing it now. I don't know, just leave a comment. I respond to everything. I really appreciate you. Let's dance together. All right, I'm done. Live. Passive-aggressive dance class from last night. I'm still trying to shake off. I went to Millennium in Las Vegas. I applied for their work-study program. You work in their office 1 day a week, and then you get unlimited dance classes for free. The first tenant in this unit, which is pretty extraordinary.